More Caribbean cricket talk for you now on the SportsMax Zone on this Friday edition. We head to the east to continue our highlights of the upcoming St. Kitts Association President's election scheduled for next Monday at the board's biannual meeting set for Royal St. Kitts Hotel in Basseterre. The elections will be contested by incumbent Dennis Phillip, Val Henry and Calvin James. Now, on Thursday's edition of the SportsMax Zone, James raised several issues with the current executive. Chief among those, as he describes it, is the inadequate disclosure of board matters to its members.
Transparent. We don't know what's going on. We don't know. You could ask anybody here who's a member of the St. Kitts Cricket Association when last they have seen a copy or have heard any audited financial statement from the Cricket Association. We haven't seen an audited report, and that is a key component of the bylaws.
Yeah, that's Calvin James, one of the candidates for the St. Kitts Cricket Association presidential race on Monday. Now, the current president, Phillip, joins us via Zoom to respond to James's claims as well as to share his plans for the future of the sport in the country if he is re-elected. Mr. Phillip, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great having you on the show. We look forward to this discussion. Can I ask you first to respond to the charges leveled on yesterday's show by Mr. James, the ones that he just mentioned?
Well, thank you very much for having me here this evening. Mr. James would have leveled those accusations, of course, and to some extent he is right. However, those we answered at the biennial by the relevant authorities, who would be the auditors themselves.
Yeah, you've been in charge for the past 10 years, and what he spoke about with transparency was just one of the issues that he had a problem with as far as he's concerned. And I got the impression that Val Henry, the other candidate challenging you, has similar concerns about the growth of the game, the lack of any red ball competition being played at the moment, and critical issues surrounding the infrastructure of the game. How would you assess your performance as president over the past 10 years?
Being here for 10 years, obviously, I give thanks and gratitude to the membership for having me here for this long. In fact, I'm serving 4 terms. If it was that bad, then I obviously would have gone through the door before. We would have served, and in fact, I would have run unopposed on at least 2 occasions. This time, that cricket has built up so much that persons are now eager and ready to come in. So it's a matter of, it has reached a stage, a pinnacle, where persons are now interested. We have actually brought interest to the game at this point.
Yeah. Are you confident that you will retain the position?
We go into things with confidence, of course, and I do believe that we will be successful, that our team will be.
Yeah, can I ask you this? Because one of the things that Mr. James mentioned yesterday was the issue of the voting landscape and the procedural issues with the voting. And the point was made, I had made the point that typically the standing association or the administration governs the machinery. And in many instances, I think I can be bold enough to say this, that I've seen right throughout the region administrations fashioning the machinery to bolster their own chances of retaining presidency. Are you satisfied that the people who are voting, that the slate is a clean and fair slate for everyone to vote?
The candidates who have put themselves up, of course, are clean. What we would have noticed that we would have seen a tremendous increase in the registration of voters by membership. Now, the association and its constitution allows members to vote, unlike most constitutions or territories where teams would be the ones who actually do the election process and vote for the candidate. Now, in terms of registering, and like I said, the increase that we would have seen, you have seen a lot of forms coming, and of course the management team would then verify and basically we approve them. But it's funny that candidates or persons, I should say, who registered as voters never showed up to pay their subscriptions. Their subscriptions are paid sometimes in bulk by persons who are participating as candidates. So it's a very strange process, but nonetheless, it is being looked at carefully, and it should be fair. It will be fair. I
Yeah.
could promise it.
Yeah, I think Mr. James, when he spoke with us yesterday, he inferred that the fact that the number of votes on the platform for the clubs is so small that it skews a genuine vote for the performance of your administration, because it now increases the membership, as you have just mentioned, way beyond the clubs, who are the people who are integrally involved with the cricket and feel most the success or failure of your performance.
Personally, I agree with that observation and opinion. Like I said a few minutes ago, it should be clubs that are casting their votes for the presidency and all other positions. They're the ones that we basically should be looking out for. Membership basically could be skewed. Somebody could bring 100 new members, pay for 100 new members, and get 100 votes, and that is very much and very similar to party politics, which is not encouraging in cricket.
Oh, well, that's a development that's a bit new to me. But I'm going to ask you, I'm going to follow up now on the opening soundbite that we would have played from yesterday, right? Where the the audited financial statements were, discussed. When was the last financial audit?
We have an auditor who will be at our biennial, and he will basically be pointing out to the membership the status and the reasons why he himself, and as an auditor, licensed auditor, has not completed an audit.
Okay, I'm so happy that we have you today because, as I said, there are a lot of puzzling aspects to what's happening.
Correct,
and, it's always good when you're here so I can just ask you the question. So one of the things that
Certainly.
was brought to my attention as well yesterday is the timing of the election, because the Constitution was cited and it's supposed to be between November and December, and that was a discussion point. So can you talk to me about that as well?
Okay, that as well. Now, what would have happened, or what has happened, we got into office and we basically got a constitution that was brought into play not by ratification of the membership. It was an old constitution that was basically just transferred through a legal document, articles of association, basically making it a legitimate company. A lot of the things in the Constitution, as an example, needs changing. And of course, we probably should have gone back to the membership and changed those. However, over the past couple of years, St. Kitts would have had an increase, a tremendous increase in regional and international matches, etc., thereby giving the local cricket association a lot more work than it should have been doing administratively based on the Constitution, and therefore it basically has, to some extent, for the legal terms, it has been overwhelming, and so things would have gone on beyond the boundary.
Yeah, yesterday I pointed out to Mr. James, and I want to ask you as our final topic, about the culture of cricket in St. Kitts, because you just mentioned that, with the St. Kitts Patriots and an increase in the volume of international cricket played in St. Kitts, it does appear as if the sport is growing in St. Kitts at the moment. And
Definitely.
Just recently you had your first West Indies cricketer, Mikhail Louis, and I wanted to get a sense of the culture over the years for cricket, because I think Kittitians may be a little bit disappointed that as I pointed out to Mr. James yesterday, a lot of other neighboring territories, significantly smaller in population than St. Kitts, like Nevis, Anguilla, and Montserrat, all
Nevis, yes.
produced all produced West Indies cricketers before St. Kitts did. So can you tie that into the culture, the cricket culture in St. Kitts, and if it is significantly stronger now than it may have been, let's say, 20, 30 years ago?
Well, when you speak about stronger, meaning stronger towards more cricket being played, stronger to more in terms of the love of cricket.
Everything.
It is getting there. Now, if you compare, you spoke about Nevis would have achieved West Indian players starting
at
with
least four or five of them.
Right, yeah. If you were to live among Kittitians and Nevisian, we are pretty much close to each other, divided by 11 miles at the furthest and 2 miles at the closest. But we have two different cultures in terms of the love for the sport of cricket. We are beginning to develop a stronger love for cricket. And of course, the Cricket Association is seeking to put players on the field a little more often and develop that pride and sense in playing cricket. Additionally, if you compare Nevis with a smaller population, they don't have as many distractions as we have here on what we consider the mainland compared to Nevis, which is a smaller population. Nevis being approximately 9,000, 10,000, St. Kitts being 40, 50,000. Activities over here have people. There's a lot of party. There's basketball. There's soccer. There are many other alternative sports which helps to make changes or keep people away from cricket. Cricket has become somewhat of a sport that is somewhat costly to play, and many people would rather play football, soccer, where you buy a pair of boots, a pants, and a top, and hey, I'm playing sport. So we do have some issues to deal with, of which the Cricket Association that we continually analyze and move forward on fixing those matters.
Okay, well, Mr. Phillip, thanks for talking to us here on the SportsMax Zone today. We will be zoning in on what happens on Monday at the election, and may the best man win.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's Dennis Phillip, standing president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, being challenged by Val Henry and Calvin James for the spot at Monday's biennial general meeting of the St. Kitts Cricket Association. We go to break. We still have a lot more to come on the SportsMax Zone on this Friday. See you on the other side of the break.